Hello everyone, in this video I'll be explaining lesson 6, which is the first lesson in section 2. In this lesson I will be explaining motivating employees. So let's start. So the first term that we must understand in this lesson is the term motivation. So the motivation is the reason why employees wants to work hard and work effectively for the business. So if any employee wants to work hard or to work effectively in a business, just because this employee has motivation, this employee has a reason why he is working that hard. So in this chapter, I'll be talking about the motivation, and I will be explaining the reasons why people work, and it's going to be summarized over here in this diagram. So the first reason is the money. People work for money to pay their for necessities and for some luxuries. The second one, they work for security. This is the reason why they work in the first place, for the money, for the security, to have a sense of security, knowing that you have a job and you are going to be paid. So, and you have this kind of security that you're not going to be losing your job. The third reason why people work is for their social needs, affiliation. Affiliation, it's like feeling a part of a group or an organization, or meeting people, making friends at work. It's like the social needs that you need, like encountering people and actually dealing with people at work. The fourth reason is esteem needs, which is self-importance. Feeling important, feel that the job you do is important. A lot of people work just to have this kind of these esteem needs to be fulfilled, that to know that the job you are doing is important and you are an important part in this job. And the fifth reason is job satisfaction. Job satisfaction, its enjoyment, is derived from feeling that you have done a good job, the feeling that I'm productive, the feeling that I'm doing something in a professional and efficient way. So, benefits of well-motivated workforce. So having a motivated employees or workforce in the business is going to lead the business, or it's going to get the business a lot of benefits. So the first one is the high productivity, high output per worker in a business usually comes from a workforce that is motivated to work effectively, and from this comes increased profit. A well-motivated workforce gives benefits to the business, and let's see these benefits. The first benefit is high output per worker, which helps to keep costs low and to increase profit. And these are the results of having a motivated worker who is doing a high output, which means that each motivated worker is going to do like 100 output per day or 120 output per day. So being motivated is going to allow the business to, let's say, make this worker more productive when it comes to outputs. And number two, willingness to accept change. For example, new methods of working. So if I have a motivated workforce, having changes will not be this hard thing on the employee. He's going to be more willing or more accepting to changes. And number three, two-way communication with the management, for example, suggestions for improving quality. So if I have a well-motivated workforce or a motivated employee, it's going to increase the communication between the management and the employee, and it's going to allow this employee to freely express his opinions and suggestions, example, for improving quality. Number four, low labor turnover, a loyal workforce. This reduces the cost of recruiting workers who leave. So low labor turnover, which means that I will have less number of workers, let's say, quitting, less number of workers do not want to work anymore in my business. And number five, low rates of absenteeism, reducing the disruption caused by the absence of worker. I will have less workers who are absent, and the rate of absenteeism is going to be low because all workers are going to be present in the business. Low rates of strike actions, avoiding damage to customer relations. So if I have a motivated worker, the action of strike is not going to be there. They're not going to do any strike. They're going to be satisfied and happy with their work. So here we are going to learn about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, human needs. So here we have the needs based on a pyramid, starting with the physiological needs, safety and security needs, social needs, esteem needs, and self-actualization. So I'm going to number them over here. So here you're gonna find these needs explained like in general terms, and here we're gonna find them like how to satisfy them in the business term. So physiological needs, it's when the need for water, rest, recreation, and shelter is being satisfied. Safety and security needs, it's protection against danger, protection against poverty, and fair treatment. If I satisfy these things, then I'm satisfying the safety and security needs. Social needs, when I have friends, I have sense of belonging to a team or a group or an organization, the social needs are going to be satisfied. Esteem needs, it's having a status and recognition, achievement, and independence. So if I achieve or I satisfy these needs, then the esteem needs are being satisfied. And self-actualization, it's succeeding to your full potential. This is like the highest level of needs, feeling that you have done a good job, not just for financial and personal reward. It's like more psychological reward, feeling that I have achieved a good achievement. I've reached my full potential. And over here, when it comes to my job or the business. So physiological needs are going to be satisfied business-wise when there's wages high enough to meet weekly bills. I'm getting paid to actually satisfy my daily needs. Safety and security needs in the business are going to be satisfied when I have job security. The social needs are going to be satisfied in business terms when work colleagues who support you at work. So if I have colleagues who are supporting me at work, then my social needs are going to be satisfied. And number 4, which is esteem needs, they are going to be satisfied when being given recognition for a job well done. If someone recognizes that I did something different, something more effective than others, then my esteem needs are going to be satisfied if someone recognized the good thing that I did. And self-actualization is going to be satisfied in a business term when I'm being promoted and given more responsibility, knowing that I can achieve more. I can, let's say, I can do a good job in a certain task, or I can get more responsibilities because I'm capable. Most business managers now recognize that if employees are going to be motivated to work effectively, then the higher levels of the hierarchy must be available to them. Money alone is not going to be the single route to increase productivity, as we thought by Taylor. We're gonna learn about it in the coming page. So all business managers must understand that it's not just about money. I must understand these needs, and I must be able to satisfy the needs, all of them in the business. And here Maslow also suggested that each level in the hierarchy must be achieved before an employee can be motivated by the next level. So over here, I cannot help the employee to achieve or to satisfy his self-actualization without satisfying his physiological needs. So I have to go one need at a time, one level at a time. There are problems in that some levels do not appear to exist for certain individuals, while some rewards appeal to fit into more than one level. So sometimes there's a problem that I cannot satisfy certain needs for certain individuals, because like sometimes people they believe that their needs just gonna be satisfied just because of money. And managers must identify the level of the hierarchy that a particular job provides up the hierarchy. So all managers, all these points, they are focusing more on the manager having this awareness of the needs and the ability to identify the level of the hierarchy that a particular job is providing, so I can achieve and to satisfy all of these needs in different levels in the job. So here we have a motivation theories. We have 2 main theories as outlined below, and actually we're going to be explaining about 3 of them. The first one is F.W. Taylor. So F.W. Taylor started his working life as a laborer in a factory in America in the 1880s. He rose to become chief engineer. During this time, he conducted experiments at the steel company where he worked into how labor productivity could be increased. So he did some kind of research to understand how can I make the laborers more productive. Taylor based his ideas on the assumption that all individuals are motivated only by personal gain, and therefore if they are paid more, they will be working more effectively. He was looking at workers who worked in factories. He broke down their job into simple processes and then calculated how much output they should be able to do in a day. If they produced this target output, then they would be paid more money. Taylor saw employees rather like machines. When they were working hard, their productivity would be high, and therefore the labor cost would be low for each unit produced. So he so how can I increase the labor productivity? And he, let's say, got a conclusion that the productivity would increase based on the personal gain this employee is getting. The more the personal gain, the more the productivity. The less the personal gain, the less the productivity. So, Taylor's ideas resulted in a big productivity gains at the company where he worked, and many other businesses adopted his idea. But there are several criticisms of Taylor's ideas. A lot of businesses, they said, okay, we're going to adopt Taylor's idea, and we think it's going to be productive. But some other people, they criticized his idea and they criticized the result of his theory, and one of the criticisms were his ideas were too simplistic. Employees are motivated by many things, not just money. They said that employees could be I can motivate employees with stuff other than money. Number two, you can pay an employee more money, but if they are unfulfilled by their job in some way, there will be no increase in their effectiveness at work, and there will be no productivity gains. They said that even if I pay this employee more money, if he's not fulfilled, if he's not satisfied with his job, he's not just that happy. So no, no, no matter how much the amount of money I'm giving this employee, if he's not fulfilled, there's no productivity whatsoever. Or a practical problem arises if you cannot easily measure an employee's output, especially when it comes to services. So if I cannot measure the employee's output, I cannot see if money actually did a difference to the employee's productivity. Here we have the second theory, which is Herzberg. Frederick Herzberg's motivation theories were based on his study of the work of engineers and accountants in USA. According to Herzberg, so humans have two sets of needs. One is for the basic needs, which is called hygiene factors, and or needs, and the second one is for a human being to be able to grow psychologically, which is called motivational needs. And we have here the table to allow us to understand the difference between motivational needs and the hygiene factors. So here we're going to start with the motivators. Motivators are the psychological needs that must be let's say satisfied, which is the need to achievement, the need of recognition, the need of personal growth, the need for advancement, and the need to have work, actually the job itself. And here the hygiene or maintenance factors, which is the basic needs in any job, which is having a status, having security, having a good working conditions, having like simply to work in a business that have policies and administration, basic need of having a relationship with the supervisor and a relationship with the subordinates, which is the people that I'm working with, and the basic need of just having a salary or being paid for the work that I'm doing for this business. So, according to Herzberg, the hygiene factors must be satisfied. If they are not satisfied, then the result is it's going to be a demotivator for the worker. However, they do not act as motivators, as once satisfied, the effect of them quickly wear off. So, Now we're going to see the methods of motivation, the financial rewards. So there are many ways in which businesses can offer financial rewards to their employees. The method of payment or financial reward are used to provide incentives to employees to encourage them to work hard and effectively. Five of the most frequently used methods financially, they are: number one, like how can I motivate the employee financially, like using money. So the financial methods of motivation, they are financial rewards, whether wage, salary, bonus, commission, and five, profit sharing. And we're going to explain each and every method and each and every financial reward right now. So we're going to start with wages. Let's see, what is a wage. A wage is payment for work, usually paid weekly. So if I'm getting a wage, then I'm an employee that is being paid weekly. So wages are often paid every week, sometimes in cash and sometimes directly into a bank account, and then the employee can get it later. The worker gets paid on a regular basis and does not have to wait long for some money. They know that, like, in a specific day that their wage is going to be, let's say, paid in cash, or they're going to be in his bank account. So if the employee works longer than their normal hours, then they can usually be paid overtime. So here we're going to be introduced to the word overtime. So the wage is going to be a little bit more if the worker worked longer than the hours, let's say, in the contract. However, there are some drawbacks to the wages part. As the wages are paid weekly, they have to be calculated every week, which takes time and money. So if I'm paying my employees wages, then every week I have to do the math. I have to do the calculation part, and it's a long process. It takes time and money, especially if I have a lot of employees who are being paid wages. And wages clerk are often employed to perform this task, which is calculating the wages every single week. Here we have, let's say, when calculating the wages to be paid, they can be worked out in a number of different ways. So wages can be worked out in a number of different ways. The first way is time rate. So time rate is the amount paid to an employee for 1 hour of work. So they're gonna be paid for each and every hour they work. And so if I worked for 2 hours, I'll be using time rate, which is paying this person by hour. Time rate is payment by the hour. For example, if an employee is paid $10 per hour and they worked for 40 hours, then they will be paid $400. So for every hour that this employee is working, he's gonna get money. So why some businesses they use time rate? Because it's easy to calculate the worker's wage, and the workers knows exactly how much they will be paid for working a certain period of time. So if I'm paid $10 and I worked for 2 hours, I know that I'll be paid $20. So it's easy to calculate. Meanwhile, we have here possible limitations. The hours worked are often recorded on a timesheet, which must be filled in and used to calculate the wages by the accounts department. This system takes time. So sometimes if I'm working for long hours, it's gonna be a little bit hard to actually calculate the amount of money that I'm gonna get. And if I have a system that's calculating the time rate, it's gonna take a lot of time, because a lot of employees that are working, let's say, time rate, they are hourly paid. Good and bad workers get paid the same amount of money. So what do I mean by good and bad workers? It's like if I'm working hard all this hour and another worker, he didn't do anything this whole hour, I'm gonna be paid just the same when it comes to productivity and the number of outputs that I'm making. So it's not fair for some employees, and often supervisors are needed to make sure that the workers keep working and producing a good quality product. This is expensive because more supervisors are needed by the business. So to avoid number two and not to be treated fairly, the business will offer or will hire supervisors, and having these supervisors to make sure that everyone's actually working in the same, let's say, level of our productivity. These supervisors are needed to be hired. They're needed to be paid. A clock-in system is needed to determine the number of hours worked by the employee, and also I have to, let's say, have a system that is recording each and every hour worked in. So, time rate is often used where it's difficult to measure the output of the worker, for example, a bus driver or a hotel receptionist, especially in the services part. The services part, they use time rate. Now we have also, when it comes to wages, we have something called the piece rate. The piece rate is an amount paid for each unit of output. So I will be, let's say, paying for this employee. It depends on the number of outputs or products that he's actually producing. So, is where the workers are paid depending on the quantity of products made. The more they make, the more they get paid. So, they're going to get additional amount of money if they made more products or more products have been produced. So, the less the products, the less the money. The more the products, the more the money, because they are being paid by piece. Piece rate can be applied to bonus systems where employees who produces more than set target of output can be rewarded. So if you do, if I have a deal with you that you're going to produce 20 pieces or 20 products and you did 25, there is let's say a bonus system that's going to reward you with the extra pieces. Piece rate can only be used where it's possible to measure the performance of individual or a team. So piece rate, it's not gonna, let's say, work in businesses who are doing services, but in businesses that are producing actual units or actual products. The advantage with this system is that it encourages workers to work faster and to produce more goods. This is the advantages of piece rate. Meanwhile, the limitations: number one, workers may concentrate on making a large number of products and ignore quality. So if I'm getting paid by a product that I'm making, so I'll make sure that I'm producing so many products and a huge number of products, and not focusing more on the quality of the products. And number two, workers who are careful in their work will not earn as much as those who rush, which may not be seen as fair. So if I'm working in something that is dangerous, or I'm working that's something that needs a lot of, let's say, concentration, and I'm going to take more time than other businesses who are doing products that are, let's say, easy to make. So some employees, they can finish 100 products. Meanwhile, I'm just done with only 2. So it's not fair to only paid for only 2 products, because the products I've been working on, it takes a lot of time for them to be finished. Number 3, if the machinery breaks down, the employee will earn less money. So the technical problems, the things that I cannot actually have control over, sometimes it happens, or the electricity, it can go off. Okay, so I cannot do the products, I cannot produce what I was, let's say, targeting to produce. And here we have salaries. A salary is a payment for work usually paid monthly. Pay attention, we're talking about monthly payment. So salaries are paid monthly, normally straight into a bank account. They are not paid in cash just like the wages. It's usually for office staff or management to be paid salaries. So let's learn more about the salary. A salary is calculated as an amount of money per year for the job performed. It's divided into 12 monthly amounts. So each month I will be getting a salary. This means that it's easy to calculate salary cost for the business. Number 2, the employer has the money in the bank account for longer than if they were paying their workers' wages, as salaries are paid only once a month. So instead of paying weekly the amount of money, and they're going to stay longer in my account as an employer, because I'm paying monthly. It's like every 30 days or every 31 days. The payment has to be calculated only once a month instead of at least 4 times a month, just like the wages. This is like the goods. I'm just going to do the calculation once. Unlike the wages, I'm going to do it 4 times. And these are the advantages over here for salaries. Now we're going to be talking about the limitations. Limitations: workers may prefer to be paid weekly. Some workers, they want to be paid a wage, to be paid weekly. No payment for extra time worked. Workers may be reluctant to work longer. So even if the worker did extra work, he did extra, let's say, more tasks, he's gonna just be paid the amount of salary they have a deal with the employer. Bonuses. Bonuses is an additional amount of payment above the basic pay as a reward for good work. So this is a bonus on the basic payment. So over here, okay, a bonus is a lump sum paid to workers when they have worked well. It can be paid at the end of the year or in intervals during the year. So it's either at the end of the year or every 6 months or something like that. Bonuses do not have to be paid. So this is something that you all should know, that bonuses is not something required from the business to do bonuses. A lot of businesses do not do bonuses. A business can decide to pay a bonus just to an individual worker who has performed only for specific people based on specific performance, if they did something extremely extraordinary, or to all of its employees if the business has exceeded certain targets. So it's either for individuals or for everyone. A bonus is paid in addition to the standard wage or salary. Being paid a bonus can have a positive, motivating effect. Workers often consider themselves recognized and special if they got a bonus. So this is a way of financially motivating the employees. Meanwhile, the limitations: bonuses can become expected every year, and if they are not paid, perhaps because the business has had a poor year, then employees' disappointment can be difficult to manage. If the employees were expecting bonuses every single year and the business didn't give out bonuses in this specific year, it's going to be a disappointment for the employee, and he's not going to be, let's say, handling it really well. If only one or small number of workers are paid a bonus, then bad feelings can be caused to other workers. Resent this and question why they did not receive one. There's going to be like this kind of jealousy between employees, and this is something any business would not want to happen. Commission. Commission is a payment relating to the number of sales made. So when I'm talking about commission, I'm relating it to the sales part. So commission, it's an additional payment. Also, they are often paid to sales staff. So most probably people who are working in the sales department, or he's a sales staff, they are the ones who are getting commission as an additional number of money on their basic wage or salary. The more sales they made, the more money they are going to get paid. The more sales they're going to make, the more commission they are going to get. Similar to piece rate, but applying only to sales staff. This encourages the sales staff to sell as many products as possible. This should be a good for the business as sales may increase. So this is a part of, let's say, motivating the sales staff specifically to sell more, because the more they sell, the more the commission is going to be increased. Commission is paid in addition to the existing wage or salary. It's something additional. So, possible limitation for the commission: if the sales staff are very persuasive and encourage people to buy goods they do not really want, then the business may see its sales increase only in the short term and then fall again as it gets a bad reputation. Because like the sales staff, they might like force people to buy because they want to get this commission, even though the products that they're offering these people, they do not really need it. But the sales staffs like They just want them to buy it in order to sell more, just to get the commission. It can be very stressful for the sales staff, because if they have a bad month, their pay will fall. So sometimes the sales staff cannot reach a certain target, and they cannot actually have an extra commission in if they were, let's say, facing, as they say here in the book, a bad month or a bad day. There might be too much competition between sales staff. Get the next customer who enters the shop. So everyone wants the commission. So every time a customer comes in the store, all the sales staff, they're gonna be like, I want to sell this customer because I want to get the commission. And it's gonna like create this uncomfortable environment between the sales staff. Here we have profit sharing. Profit sharing is a system whereby a proportion of the company's profit is paid out to the employees. So employees receive a share of the profits in addition to their basic wage or salary. This additional payment should motivate the workers to work hard, as they all receive a share of the profit earned by the business. The rest of the profit will be paid as dividends to shareholders or retained by the business to reinvest it in the business. Profit sharing is used in the service sector, where it's difficult to identify an individual employee's contribution to the increased profit, but they will all benefit from more productive work. So especially in the service businesses, where I cannot actually, let's say, refer this to it refers like this increase in profit to a certain employee. So I will share the profit or proportion of the profit to all employees, and the rest of the money I will reinvest it in the business, and I will divide it to the shareholders. The limitation for the profit sharing over here: if the business makes very low profit or even loss, there is no profit share. It's not possible, leading employees to disappointment. It's not always like the business can be profitable. Some days it can have low profits or even loss. So employees are going to be disappointed for not having the profit share to them. The profit share is usually calculated on the basis of additional percentage of a worker existing wage or salary. So the profit sharing depends on your wage or salary. So if I'm a worker that's being paid a lot of money, I will receive a higher profit share. So it's gonna leave bad feelings for the workers who are not paid a high salary or a high wage. Here we have fringe benefits. Fringe benefits, let's say, they are the perks or fringe benefits of the job, which means like the financial rewards or something that I will get just because I'm working in this business, whether I'm getting a discount on the products of the business that I'm working in, or I'm getting, let's say, something. It could be like non-financial rewards, but this is the benefits that I'm getting just because I'm working in this specific job. For example, the company's vehicle, the car, I'm getting discounts on the business products. I'm getting healthcare paid for, the children's education fees paid. I will get all of these benefits just because I'm working in this specific company, or I'm doing this specific job. So here we have motivating factors, the non-financial methods. I can motivate my employees while not using money. We explained the things, how can I motivate them using money to make them more productive and efficient using money. But now I'm going to see how can I motivate my employees without using non-financial methods. So here, there are always other than payment that can be used to motivate workers and make them more committed to their jobs and work more effectively. Many non-financial methods of motivation are focused on increasing the level of job satisfaction, which is the enjoyment of doing a job. So if I'm doing a non-financial motivation, I'm doing that just to reach the result of having a satisfied employees, or employees who have job satisfaction, employees who are enjoying their jobs. So There are several ways a business can increase job satisfaction to its employees by starting by doing job rotation. Let's see what is job rotation. Job rotation involves workers swapping around and doing each specific task for only a limited time and then changing around again. So if I'm trying to let's say make my employees more satisfied, and I want them to work really hard, so I will start. I don't want to like pay them money. I can do job rotation. So this is the first, let's say, non-financial method to increase the job satisfaction. Workers, they are swapping around doing each specific task for only limited time. They are not stuck in the same task over and over for long hours. They're just switching. This increased the variety in the work itself. So why do I do job rotation? To increase the variety of the job itself, and it's going to make it easier for managers to move workers around the factory if people are ill and they and their job needs covering. So if one of these employees, let's say they are ill, it's easily to rotate this employee to its place, and it's going to be all my business not going to stop. It's going to stay working absolutely fine. Job enrichment. In order to achieve job satisfaction, this is the non-financial method, which is job enrichment. Let's see what's job enrichment. Job enrichment involves looking at jobs and adding tasks that require more skill and or more responsibility. It's when I'm enriching someone's job, it's not just like I'm changing his job. No, I'm adding more tasks and more responsibilities to this person. And sometimes these responsibilities, they require, let's say, more knowledge and to be able to let this employee have more experience. So, additional training may be necessary to enable the employee to take an extra task. I didn't change the employee's, let's say, working position, but I'm adding more tasks and more responsibilities that may require training in order to achieve or to be able to have the skills that it takes. Autonomous work groups or team working. The third non-financial method is team working. Team working involves using groups of workers and allocating specific tasks and responsibilities to them. So, team working involves a group of workers giving responsibility for a particular process, product, or development. So, I would choose teamwork because, let's say, they can decide as a group how to complete the task or organize the job. They can work like between themselves, who's going to do what, and they're going to divide the tasks because they are working as a group. The workers can become more involved in the decision making. This is like the benefits of team working, and they're going to take responsibility for this process. So they're going to be feeling more involved because they're going to feel like they have more responsibilities because of the decisions they are taking. This gives a feeling of control over the job tasks, and the employees feel more committed, and it's going to increase the job satisfaction, which is we are looking for in the non-financial motivation. Training. Training is the process of improving a worker's skill. So if I want to improve any worker's level of skills, the best thing I can do for this worker is to train him, to actually add more knowledge to him, or to let him learn new things and to, let's say, get new skills. So even if I ask the employee for a task that requires a specific skill, I can actually train him to be able to perform this skill. Workers can also feel as if they have been selected by management for training courses, and this can give them a feeling that their good work has been recognized. So sometimes a lot of employees, when the managers, they add them to a training course, they're going to feel special because they've been picked out from all employees to be trained. Opportunities for promotion. So what is a promotion? Promotion is an advancement of an employee in an organization. For example, a higher job or managerial level. So One of the non-financial ways of motivating the employee in order to get him into a job satisfaction phase is to allow him to have a chance to be promoted, to have a better position. So employees offered promotion will feel recognized for their great job. Also, this promotion is going to give them higher status, and they're going to be given more challenging work to perform. So this promotion is gonna like psychologically gives benefits for the employee, and he's gonna feel better. That was our lesson for today. Thank you for watching and study well.